Good evening. I want to just welcome you all here tonight and tell you how delighted we are that you are all here to help celebrate Sister Monica's birthday. We have asked a few people to speak some thoughts of theirs about Sister Monica, and the first person we've asked to speak is Ron Carey, who a few months ago was celebrated from the stage at the deck for having played for 50 years with the Duluth Superior Symphony Orchestra without ever having missed a classical concert. So Ron has been a fixture in our community for many years, and we asked him to speak a little bit about Sister Monica.
I've had the honor and privilege of knowing Sister Monica for many years. And speaking of the symphony, she used to play E-flat clarinet and percussion with the Duluth Symphony, especially during the years of Joseph Hawthorne. Sister, if I say anything that's not correct, just please correct me. So I knew her in the symphony and also working as coordinator of the youth orchestras for the Duluth Superior Symphony, two of which meet here every Monday at Scholastica. I know that she was an original member of the very first youth orchestra that the symphony sponsored. That was the Junior Symphony in those days, and played percussion, I believe, in that group. And she still checks up on us every now and then when we're here up on the campus, especially when we're having auditions up in the third floor music hall. She comes around and says, how are things going and how many kids we have trying out. I've also played with her in the Center for Early Music Orchestra here. She played clarinet on many concerts along with Marianne Sandstrom Connolly. And so that was a privilege knowing her. My favorite story, and also one of my favorite childhood memories, is the first time I was ever on this beautiful campus, and the first time I'd ever seen or heard an opera in person. By that time, I was already really into opera and loved it very much and still do. I was in the 6th grade, school year 1956-57. It was a performance of Humperdinck's Hansel and Gretel with a 7-piece orchestra and piano directed by Sister Monica, mostly of Scholastica musicians. My 6th grade teacher, I don't know if any of you ever heard of her, Alma Brodal. She taught at Merritt School Elementary. My 6th grade teacher. She played the part of the witch, though, because none of the students wanted to play that part. So she was recruited to play the witch, and of course she told her class, we have to come to this and see this performance. So my father brought me up here, first time I was ever on the campus, and the first time I ever saw an opera. So, years later, I said to Sister Monica, now I remember a Sister Donalda conducted that performance. And I said to Sister Monica, where is she now? Whatever happened to her? Because at the time, in 56, 57, all the sisters wore their full habits. So I didn't recognize Sister Donalda. And Sister Monica said, well, that was me. So decades later, I found out I knew Sister Monica from that very first time I was here. That's one of my favorite childhood memories. Thank you and happy birthday, Sister.
We have an alumna here from the class of 1973, former Abbey minstrel, Sandy Evanson Brennan, who's going to talk a little bit about some of her remembrances.
I haven't grown any. Happy birthday, Sister Monica. I'm so glad to be here in Duluth and really glad to be back here at Scholastica. Never been on this stage before. I feel like I should do a little something. As a high school student, I never planned to come to St. Scholastica. Many of you know John Oland, who now sings with Lionheart. Well, John and I went to junior high, high school, and college together. And one day he announced after the Abbey Minstrels, well, actually they were the Madrigal Singers, girls group, had come to our high school, Central High School, to do a performance. And we were smitten with Sister Ruth Lindheimer, a.k.a. Marcy. They were wonderful, and they were so sophisticated and grown up. It was wonderful. So I was going to go to UMD and be an elementary education teacher. That was it. I was done. That was my decision. So John announced to me one day that he was going to come to Scholastica and audition to be in the music department. And would I like to come along? Sure, we were best friends. I said, I'll come along. So John did his audition, and Sister Monica asked him if he played any instruments. He said, yes, he played the piano. And then she looked at me and she said, well, do you sing? Well, John and I had been singing together for years at that point. And I said, well, yes, I do. Well, why don't you audition? I thought, well, I didn't prepare anything, so I sang that most famous of classical pieces, Silent Night. I'm not making this up. And then she asked me if I played any instruments. Well, I knew my piano playing was abysmal at best, so I didn't offer that. But I did have one instrument I'd been learning to play, and I loved it dearly. But having been told by my high school band director that it wasn't exactly what you could call an instrument, I reiterated that statement and said, well, I'm not sure you'd really call it an instrument, but I play the recorder. Well, she laughed politely. John then proceeded to tell her how he made fun of me for purchasing that recorder with 6 books of green stamps and 18 cents. And then we went into Sister Monica's office. On the wall, on every bookshelf, were pictures and photographs of every early instrument you've ever known. And many you never knew. I mean, at that point, I'd never heard of a crumhorn or a sackbut. Well, we laughed until our sides hurt at that story. Now, the next story I'd like to tell is that John Oland and I may well have starved as students at St. Scholastica if it were not for Sister Monica. Because when we were taking Sister Monica's classical music history class, we were cramming for our listening test, which, as I recall, was the primary and secondary movements of every theme of 41 symphonies. Am I right, Sister Monica? Yeah. So we'd be in the listening room cramming with our headsets, and Sister Monica felt so sorry for us that we must have been hungry. She would go down into the convent kitchen and make us peanut butter sandwiches on homemade bread. To this day, when I smell peanut butter, I think of you, Sister Monica. what's some other thing that you might not know about Sister Monica is that she's quite the actress. One year, we had a retreat at a lovely place near Brainerd. Shelley, you were there. And we had a talent show. Now, in the talent show, you were not allowed to do your talent. Singers couldn't sing, players couldn't play. So we had what must be the smallest redux version of Carmen, and Sister Monica played Don Jose to Marcy Lindheimer's Carmen. How I wish that there had been video cameras at that time. Well, Lake Superior and St. Scholastica are two of my favorite places on the world, and Sister Monica, you are one of my favorite people on the planet. You nurtured my love for music of all kinds and planted early music into my soul. I thank you for that. Happy, happy birthday, and I love you.
Thank you, Sandy and Ron. Jordan Ceramic was a student at St. Scholastica around 1990 in that general area. He's founder of the Rose Ensemble in Minneapolis, and he is unable to be here today. But we wanted to play a small clip from a video about the Rose Ensemble, which was created by public television in the Twin Cities. And so this is not something that was scripted for this evening, but we thought it depicted what Sister Monica has been in the lives of hundreds of students at St. Scholastica over the past decades.
I grew up on a very small farm in a small town in northern Minnesota, about 50 miles northwest of Duluth. When I first started college, and I learned about this thing called early music, which is a general term referring to that which comes from before 1750 on Western European standards. I first got interested in singing Gregorian chant. There's this wonderful nun at St. Scholastica. I'll never forget what she said to me, Sister Monica. She said, "Jordan, you were born to sing Gregorian chant." And I think when a nun tells you something like that, you listen.
Years ago, we celebrated Sister Monica's 80th birthday. It doesn't seem like 10 years ago, does it, Sister Monica? And for that occasion, alumnus Tyler Kaiser composed a song, Sismo's song, for the then music faculty. And I sort of thought maybe we didn't need introductions, but I think maybe we do. And before I introduce the people who were music faculty 10 years ago, I'd like to introduce two new music faculty who are here, who will be assisting on some level with this performance, but we didn't ask for a new piece. So Dr. Jeremy Craycraft is now here teaching percussion. You want to stand up? For people who don't know you. And Dr. Brett Amundsen is our Director of Choral Activities. And Tyler is here teaching composition and guitar. And those of us playing in this piece include Shelley Gruskin on recorder, Marianne Connolly on clarinet, Penny Schwartz on violin, Bill Bashton is tenor, and Leanne House, piano.
Sister Monica's gift right here because it is too big. It's going to be delivered directly to Waverly House in a medium-sized truck. But I will tell you what it is. Well, Sister Monica, in the music department, you have held many positions, including chair. Now we are going to give you a chair, which will hold you in many positions. As you have guessed, it is a state-of-the-art recliner, capable of many modes. For example, the alert mode, the non-alert mode, the instructional mode, that is for giving orders and directions to people nearby, whoever they may be. Instead of this artwork, I suppose I could have used a prop, such as an empty chair next to the podium. As a matter of fact, after watching those political conventions, when I'm standing behind a podium, I'm getting quite a lot of illusions. I don't see the stars and stripes, and I don't see the names of the states on the pennants. But I do expect, when I mention the name of Sister Monica, to hear a spontaneous 10 more years. 10 more years.